guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be talking about the best places you should put your money when payday comes. If you're struggling with where to start organising your finances, then hopefully this video will help get you on track. Once a lot of people get paid, we don't know what to do with our money and it just sits in the account until it all gets spent up by bills and things that you buy throughout the month. Because we aren't taught in schools what to do with our money, how to keep more of it in our pockets, best ways to pay less taxes, mainly one of the most important things in life. You don't get taught in school, you just have to figure it out for yourself. The most important part of earning your money is being able to keep it. So this video will list the best possible steps you can take to improve your finances. If you don't have a plan for your money when payday hits, it's more than likely going to be spent making other people richer. So you want to think carefully about what to do with your money before you go ahead and spend it. So with all that said, let's get into the steps. So step one, the first thing you want to do is have a pension in place. Workplace pensions can be great, especially if your employer matches your contribution or at least pays a decent percentage into your pension. The sooner you can get your pension set up, the better. That way you won't get used to the extra money that you get if you weren't paying into your pension, and you just forget that that money was ever there, and it just gets saved up for you for later in life. You don't have to think about doing anything, it just automatically comes out. So there's three major reasons you want to pay into a pension. So the first one is that you don't retire with no savings, because that would be a really sad situation. It's basically free money from your employer that they are paying into your pension. And thirdly, the contributions that you make are tax free. So if you were to take them in your pay packet, you'd be taxed on them, whereas paying it into your pension, you're not. And who's going to turn down free money? I know sometimes retirement can seem such a long way away, especially if you're only young, but you want to be contributing at least something every month just to help build that pot for when you do come to retire. So if you can max out what you put into your pension, that is a great idea, because you're going to be getting the biggest tax relief, and there's not many investments out there that give you the same tax relief as the pension does. Step two, payday comes, woohoo! So you need to have a current account, which I presume most people have. I like to call this the hub of the accounts. So this is where all your wages and pay get paid into, and then some people might keep that as like a bills account. So you might want to then divvy out your money into different savings or investments and then keep money in there for your bills. I personally have a current account that I get paid into, and then I have a separate bills account, and the current account, all that has left in it is my food shopping money for the month. I have accounts for everything else just because in my head it's organised. So you generally want a current account that is fee free, so you're not paying for it. There are some good accounts that you pay for that come with benefits, but make sure you are using the benefits, because I know a lot of people that pay for the benefits and then also pay for the same thing separately because they're not even aware of what benefits they have with the bank account. For example, you might get travel insurance with your bank account and people might not even realise that, so you go out and take out a separate travel insurance policy and then you're doubling up on what you're paying for. So make sure you are using the benefits and it's worth you paying the monthly fee. If it isn't, then you just want a fee-free account. Another great benefit is if you can get a current account that pays interest. There isn't that many, but there is some, even if it's only a small amount, and an account that has no foreign transaction fees when spending abroad. If you don't really go abroad, then this is irrelevant to you, but if you do like to travel, then when your holiday comes, you haven't got to worry about what the situation is with spending when you're abroad. You don't have to take cash, you don't have to open a special account like a prepaid card or anything like that. You can just use your current account card when you're abroad. So I know Monzo is great for this, and Chase are really good as well. It's just such a handy extra benefit. A lot of the high street banks may offer a card similar to this, but generally the current accounts, you would be charged a foreign transaction fee if you were to buy something in another country. So with the next steps I'm going to talk about, you need to have a rough idea of what your monthly outgoings are going to be. I have made another video which I'll link here on budgeting, so if you wanted to learn a bit more about that, then definitely check that out. But yeah, you need to have a good idea of what all your bills cost, your essential bills that is, and your expenses, so you know how much you're able to save. So if you roughly know that all your outgoings are £1,000, for example, you know if you get paid £2,000 a month, you've got £1,000 spare. But really break those outgoings down, like are they actually essential? Because ideally you want to be paying yourself first, which I will go into more next. So by paying yourself first, I mean putting money into your own savings accounts, your pensions, your stocks and shares ISA, things like that, then paying your bills, and then having money left to enjoy your guilt-free spending. But I do think you need to have a good idea of what your expenses are before you even start budgeting. Step number 3 is to build up an emergency fund if you haven't already got one, and you want to do this in a high interest savings account. So some of the savings account rates at the moment are the best they've ever been in years, so you want to try and find the best savings account you can that's paying the highest rate. So again, you can get free money every month. Free money, what you get paid in interest into your account if you've got savings every month. You're basically getting paid to do nothing, to just have your money sat there. So if you have got savings, do not leave it in a current account. You're missing out on so much money that you could get for just putting it in a savings account. So a great starting point if you haven't got an emergency fund is to have at least 1 month's expenses saved up that you don't touch. So 1 month of all your bills that you have to pay saved up, so that if anything happened, you've got that in an account account ready to cover you for at least a month to give you a bit of time. Ideally, it's advised online by numerous people to have 3 to 6 months worth of expenses saved, but this can take quite a long time to build up, so maybe just work towards that over time. But having 1 month's expenses is still a great starting point, and it just makes you feel so secure and confident that if anything was to happen, like an emergency, not a holiday, you would be able to pay for it, and you wouldn't have to worry about borrowing money from someone or a bank or getting a loan. So yeah, it's just there to give you peace of mind and to feel a lot calmer in stressful situations. If you get to the stage where you've got 3 to 6 months of an emergency fund saved up, then amazing. You know, you've got a real solid base if anything was to happen. If you were to be made redundant suddenly, you were to become ill, you know, I won't be too depressive, but there's lots of different reasons this could happen. People often think, oh, it's never going to happen to me, but you just never know. So it's always best to have that safety net there. While the interest rates on savings are good at the moment, you could have that in a fixed savings account for a couple of months to make more interest, because often if you fix your money away, you get a better interest for it. But still, some instant access accounts now are paying 4 or 5% interest. I would just say though, if you're in a situation where you've got high interest debt, so mainly credit cards and overdrafts, you pay the highest amount of interest with those types of lending, it's a good idea to get those paid off as soon as possible. So a good idea might be, say you've got £3,000 on your credit card or an overdraft, work out, say over the year, how much you need to save every month to get that paid off as soon as possible, and what you can ideally afford to pay off every month, because there's no point saving in a high interest savings account and having debt, because the interest you pay on the debt on credit cards and overdrafts is a lot higher than the interest you would receive on your savings. So I would say that'd be your next focus, would be to plan and try and get that paid off as soon as you can. Step number 4, if you live in the UK and are aged between 18 and 39, you can open up a LISA, which is a lifetime ISA. So a lifetime ISA is an account you want if you are looking to buy your first home or save extra for retirement. Those are the only 2 instances that you can withdraw the money from the account. Of course, you can take it out in the meantime if you needed to, but there would be a penalty. So mainly it's only if you're looking to buy your first home or you want to save extra for retirement. So in this account, you can save up to £4,000 a year, and the government will pay a 25% bonus towards that. So if you save £4,000 a year, the government will give you an extra £1,000 on top of your savings. So an extra £1,000 a year for free if you save the £4,000 a year. So you can save less than that. I think you can save from £1, and then they just pay in the 25% of whatever you've saved. So you can do this by adding the money as a lump sum, or you can pay in and break it down monthly. You earn interest on the money in the account as well, and because it's an ISA, it's tax free. It's a really great account, and free money. You can get £1,000 a year from the government up until retirement age. I can't remember exactly what age it is that you can get out. It might be like 59 or 60, but it's definitely worth a look into. So step number 5, so once you've paid into your workplace pension or your self-employed pension and you've maxed out any other means of saving interest and getting tax relief, like the LISA that I explained, then the next step is to pay all your essential bills. There's not really much more to that, to be honest. Once your outgoings are covered, you can then move on to the next step. The next step, which is step 6, is to save for things that are important for you or maybe more long-term goals. So I have separate savings accounts for things, holidays, birthday celebrations, weddings I'm going to. If you like the idea of being able to organise your money in different pots, then I'd highly recommend Monzo for that. It's really easy to open more pots. It's not like going through an account opening process. It's literally just like a click of 2 buttons and you've got a separate pot open. You can also open separate pots for your savings as well, which they pay interest on. If you have got a long-term goal, maybe 5 to 10 years, 5 years, I'd probably say be a minimum, up to 10 years. Maybe you want to save a kitchen renovation, a massive holiday, a wedding. You might want to consider investing in something like an index fund, which is globally diversified and has low fees. So I personally use Vanguard. I've been enjoying that. I am very much a beginner, but I would say if you are looking to invest and you haven't done it before, then just start small. That way it's not as much of a worry or a shock if anything happens, but you've just got to know that you need to stay in it for the long run. So yeah, at least 5 to 10 years, I would say, to be able to see a good rate of return. So there's some great calculators online. You can work out if you put in X amount monthly in 5 to 10 years time, this is hopefully what the return will be. Obviously, no one can guarantee that to you, but investing is a great way to be able to stay ahead of inflation. A great way to start investing is by opening up a stocks and shares ISA. So you can put £20,000 in a stocks and shares ISA, as with any other ISA in a tax year. I'll link a few of my favourite money calculators below, which can also help with budgeting, investing, thinking about overpaying your debts or your mortgage. And lastly, it feels like it has become the norm these days to just keep putting things on credit cards and loans and overdrafts. But if that becomes the norm to you, then you're never going to get ahead with your savings or financially. So try and have the money already saved in an account before you go on the holiday, before you go on the long wedding weekend that you've got to pay for. Try and plan ahead as much in advance as you can so you're organised, and then you know exactly what you need to save every month for 6 months, for example, up until the event comes around. If you set up a standing order from your account as well to go into your savings account monthly, and you haven't even got to think about it, it just comes out automatically for you rather than you having to do the legwork when you get paid. And that is it for today's video. But I hope you found this video useful. If you did like this kind of video, I would love it if you could give it a big like and consider subscribing to the channel. I would love to have you as a viewer and for you to stick around for more content like this. I post new videos every Monday at 7. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!